So we're going to talk today about the greatest common factor and least common multiple. So please put this abbreviation, greatest common factor and least common multiple. Okay, so these are important features that you need to know. Greatest common factor. So we're going to write, this is just abbreviation that you could have in your test, but it's important that you know what that stands for. And GCFs is greatest common factor. And this is least common multiple. Also, you can put the least. So one of many things that you are doing with the greatest common factor or least common multiple is could be like adding the decimal, their different denominator. For example, if I needed to add 3/8 plus maybe 4/12, that I will need their least common multiple. And if I am going to simplify a fraction, for example, I need to know what 8/12 is same as that I will need to use the greatest common factor to simplify or reduce this decimal, also this fraction, sorry. So that is one of the features, but there is many more we can use in decomposing numbers. We can use greatest common factor and least common multiple. So there are two different ways how we can do that. So the first, we need to know what are multiples and what are the factors, okay? So for example, if we take the two different numbers, for example, because I took these 8 and 12, so we can find what are the multiples of, let's do the factors first. For example, if I'm looking what the factors are, factors of 8 and factors of 12, okay? So factors, who knows what factors of 8 are? Anybody there? How you can multiply two factors and to get 8? So there are factors of 8 that we needed to find for greatest common factor. So what would be the factors?
4 times 2.
1, 2 and 4, 4 and 2. That's exactly, those are 2. So you already have 2, like 2 and 4. When we multiply 2 and 4, or 4 and 2, we got 8, okay? There are two more. There are two more that are really simple. Which one is, and it's just included 1. 1 times what? 1 times 8 is, so these, are they any other factors? Then you can multiply them together to get 8. What do you think, guys? Anybody knows? Or that it? That's it. Okay, I'm going to tell you, that's it. There is no, if I try like 3 times something, I cannot get 8. Or if I try 5 times something, I cannot get 8. So these are the only factors that are of the number 8, because I can say 2 times 4, and I'm gonna get 8, and I can say 1 times 8 is 8. And that's the, I can also say 4 times 2 or 2 times 4. This is called commutative property, and that makes the 8. So all these are 1, 2, 4, and 8 are factors of 8. So when you know now the factors of 8, would be now easier for you to tell me what the factors of 12 are. What are the factors of 12?
3
so
and 4.
By looking at the factors, 3 and 4, bravo, that's right. Say again, I'm sorry.
6 times 2.
Bravo. And then you just one more pair that it's the
4
simplest
times
way.
1.
That's right. So when we do that, we can think about, okay, we can have 1 times 12 is 12, correct? And then if we try 2, we can say, oh, 2 times 6 is 12. And then we also have, like Kevin says, 3 times 4, and that's a 12. So we know now these are the factors for 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Those are the factors, because when I multiply them, 2 factors multiplication, 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12. And then 1 times 12 is 12. So I found all the factors for the 8 and all factors for 12. So when we know that, we can find out what is the greatest common factor for those greatest common factor that they both have. So because it's greatest common factor, it has to be the one of the factors that it's the greatest factor. So they both have 1, correct? Is that the greatest their factor? Or it's 2? What else they have in the same? Look, you can see that they have 1, correct, and 1. That's the same factors. They have 1 and 1 as the same factors. What else they have as the same factors?
2 and 2.
2 and 2. Okay, I keep looking because I need the greatest. I need the greatest one. So is it 1 or 2 greatest? Is there any more factors they have in common?
4 and 4.
4 and 4. That's right. So do I have any more? Only have a factor 8. Does 12 has a factor 8?
No.
No. So what would be the greatest common factor?
4 and 4.
It's a 4. That's right. So you only use once, so we know, oh, that's this. That is is 4. So their greatest common factor for 8 and 12 is 4, because we lay out all the factors for 8 and all the factors for 12, and then we found that that is the greatest common factor for 8 and 12. Okay, so that so now when we think about how we can use it, we can see this 8 12s. Look, if I needed to simplify 8 12s, most of you know, what do I need to divide the top and the bottom number to get a same fraction? What do you think this can help you to figure it out how to simplify this fraction the easiest way? What should I divide both numbers by?
4.
4 with the greatest common factor. Yes. So we can find the greatest common factor, and then if we need that, help us to simplify fractions. So I can divide by 4 both because I know that is their greatest common factor. And I can say, oh, 2 times 4 equals 8, or 8 divided by 4 equals 2. And then 12 divided into 4 is equals to 3 because 3 times 4 equals 12. So the greatest common factor helped us to simplify this fraction. So if you have some number that is weird, like 36 and 48, you can find the greatest common factor for 36 and 48, and then you can divide that by and simplify the fraction. So greatest common factor help us to find factor that we can divide both numbers by, and we can simplify the fraction. Okay, now we're gonna look what is least common multiple. Least common multiple will help us to do and add these fractions. So this one, greatest common factor, helped us to simplify this fraction because we divide by that and we got, now we need to add 3 8s and 4 12s. And then greatest least common multiple will help us with that. Okay, so now we needed to find multiples of 8 and 5. We found the factors, and then multiples are a little bit different. So multiples of 8, it's just a simple thing. It goes forever. 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 8 is what? 16. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 8 is 32. So it's kind of like you doing this multiplication in your brain. So you can put, if I needed to have a multiples of 8, I can pretend to see, okay, 1 times 8 is 8. And if I say 2 times 8 is 16, and then 3 multiples of 3 8 is 24, multiple of 4 8s is 32, multiple of 5 8s. Who knows what multiple of 5 8s is? 5 times 8 is, come on guys. Hello,
40.
Aniletta.
40.
5 times 8 is 40. That's right. So these are like few first multiples of 8. Now I'm going to make multiples of 12. So multiples, when you see multiples of 12, you need to remember that those are like 1 times 12 is, can somebody help me? 1 times 12 is?
12.
Thank you. 2 times 12 is?
24.
2 times 12 is?
24.
Bravo. 3 times 12 is?
36.
36.
Bravo. And 4 times 12 is?
48.
48. Bravo. And then 5 times 12 is?
60.
60. You bet. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there because I can look my numbers and I need to find what is the least common multiple, LCM, of 8 and 12. Okay, So least common multiple. Now I'm not, remember how I was looking for greatest common factor? So I didn't choose the 1 or 2. I choose the greatest number that they have same in factors, 4 and 4. But when I say least common multiple, what that means? Is that chiquito or grande? Least. Anybody know what least means? The least? The smallest. Yeah, so I'm going to use the least common multiple. So now I can look and I can see, oh, 8 and 12. No, 16. They don't have 16. I can see here, oh, I can see they have this. That is 24. And that is a first number. So I can say then 8, they don't have any common. 16, they don't, or 12, they don't. So the least common multiple, the first number they have in common is 24. But if we keep doing it, like 6 times 8 is 48. Look, 6 times 8 is 48. You will see that, oh, I have a 48 here and I have 48 here, but that is not the least. The least is the first that it comes. So the least common multiple for 8 and 12 is 24, because there, if I keep on multiplying, that it would be more. 2 times 6 is 12. So 72 would be, and then if I do 7 times, and it goes on and on forever, you can find many least common multiples of these two numbers. But the least is the first one that comes, because that's the smallest. So now I know then the least common multiple of 8 and 12 is 24. And so now I'm going to see how that can help me if I needed to add. Remember, this greatest common factors help us to simplify or reduce fraction. That's what that helps us, simplify or reduce fraction. And this one is can help us to add or subtract fractions. So, so if we needed to add 3/8 plus 4/12, we can see we can't add them equally unless I have, because if I think about this, these are my 3/8. 3/8. Those are the size of 8. And then I have 4/12s, and these are my 4/12s. So you can see they are not the same size fractions. What I needed to really find is the greatest common factor. So I needed to cut each piece into smaller pieces. So then when I add them up together, they really create, I don't have 24ths, but it will tell you that this is actually how I can add them up is by creating these 8s, cutting in smaller pieces, and then these 12s also in the smaller pieces, so I can make 24th pieces. So how I can do that is, this is my least common denominator. Least common multiple is going to be my least common denominator. Least common denominator, D, because I need to change 8 and 12 in pieces of 24ths. So what do I multiply 8 to get 24 on the bottom? 3. What is 8 times what makes 24? Somebody help me with that.
8 times
What
2.
is it 2 or 3?
I mean 3. I mean 3. I mean 3.
3. 8 times 3 gonna give me 24, but I have to do the same thing on a top of my of my fraction. So in order to change the 3/8, 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 8 is, it's gonna be 9/24. So what that means in real life, look, I had a 3/8. Remember, there were 3/8. So because I multiplied by 3 each 8, in reality, I'm going to go and I'm going to cut each 8 into the 3 equal pieces. So they will become 9/24. So if I take this and I cut this in a smaller, these will be my 24th size. And I can cut this, pretending I'm cutting. I'm drawing where I'm gonna do cut. So, and then here also. So I'm going to have, instead of 8/3, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 24 pieces, because now on my pieces, this is 1/24 piece, and I have 9 of them. But then I will also do the same with my 4/12. What do I multiply 12 to change it into 24? Somebody needs to. Anilada, what is if 12 times what makes 24?
2.
2 times 2, and I do the same on the top. So I will have 4/12. I will make 8/24, because 2 times 4 is 8, and 12 times 2. Now my pieces needed are going to be the same. Like my least common denominator, that would be 24. So I'm going to show you also how these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 12s, they become 8/24. Because I multiplied by 2, in reality, I really do cut each of the 12s into 2 pieces. And then it will get 8/24. Okay, so if I do that, when I put them all, now this is also my 1/24 piece. You can see then I make them the same 24, the same size, and now I can add them up together, because if I look, they will be the same size. These parts are now the same size, and I will have these. My answer will be, now I can add a numerator and numerator, because the denominator stays the same. When I add my fractions, the pieces are the same. They will be 24 size, this size of the, but I will have them 9 plus 8. What is 9 plus 8? Who can help me? What is 9 plus 8?
17.
Come on. 17, bravo. So it's 17/24. And we can check, guys. Remember, it was a 3/8 plus 4/12. I couldn't add it because they were different size. They were the red and the purple 4/8. And if I put them together, I cannot say, oh, they're 8s or they're 12s. They're not same size. Unless they're the same size, I cannot add them up. So what I found, least common multiple for number 8 and 12 is 24. That tells me I need to change the 8 and the 12s into 24s. So I multiplied by 3, and each of 8 gave me 3/24. And 3 more, that's 6, and 3 more, that's 9. Okay, 9 24ths. And then I also did 4 12ths. I multiplied by 2 and I got 2, 4, 6, 8 24ths. Now, when I have a 9 24ths and 8 24ths, I can put them together because now it's the same size. And I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 24ths of this size of a fraction. So that in order to add or subtract decimals, how I keep saying decimal fractions, because we were working on the decimals. So in order to help yourself how to add or subtract, that we need to have the least common denominator or least common multiple to help us with that. So so least common multiple help us to add.
Mrs.Z, it's Robert.
Yes.
I finished the Mr. Doug things.
Okay, thank you. To add or subtract fractions. Add or subtract fractions. So those this was the little lesson on greatest common factor and least common multiple that you need to understand it. We will do tomorrow the different way how to find the greatest common factor and least common multiple by using a Venn diagram as a tool to help us. But this is one way to find the factors, and then you can find the greatest common factor for each to help reduce or simplify fractions. And then also you can find the multiples, which are just the multiplication from 1 to infinity. And you find which one is the least, the smallest multiple of both numbers. And that this number can help you to add or subtract fractions. Okay. Are there any questions?
No.
Thanks for. No? Okay. I just want to say thank you for everyone who participated, who was answering multiplication facts. That's what multiplication is really important for you guys to know, like mentally, with a big fluency, and you can recall the fact very quickly. Thank you.